I met a gypsy.
Did you ever have any offers of teams and like to stay?
I had an offer from Honda. It was money. It ended up not working out because the money was just too far off. But it was. I don't know if they didn't think I would actually leave or what, but it was that pretty much that was it. I stayed at Kawi because they were really good to me too. There wasn't anything better.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess the bike probably plays a bit into it in a sense too, because I just was watching highlights of like your career highlights, and that bike looked from year to year to year. It just looked very set up for you. Like steered with the rear wheel, like that style, like your style, the style of the bike. And it seemed like that style stayed with Kawi for a really long time, like the way that they like to set up the motorcycle too.
Yeah, so I jumped on it after James. So I came off of it and got to ride James's,
How was
setup.
that?
I was super new, obviously coming from a lights bike and coming up. Dude, I jumped on it. Yes, I made changes. When I did the first like test ride on the bike when I was still lights, I got to ride the 450. They set it up, with my bars and similar suspension-ish. Different, guy did it obviously and prepped it. But I was able to just jump on it and it felt like my 250. So, but that being said, if you were to take a showroom bike off the floor, like we had to change a lot on that motorcycle to, it was just the trait. James had it kind of low, also low, stiff forks, low in the rear.
Yeah.
Subframe was always cut. We're both not the biggest guys. So when I came on, it was the same thing. We'd cut the subframe. We had to do a lot of things to get it because it was really stink butt, really high in the rear. It was like unrideable for me.
In stock form.
In stock form, yeah. So we had to do a lot of, little things, nothing crazy, but like cutting the subframe, shorten the shock shaft by like 1 mil, to get it to where we wanted it. Jake didn't like that bike.
Really?
Yeah. He said it was the worst bike he ever rode.
Damn. Yeah, I haven't spent that much time on Kawis. I had one Kawi 250.
Now, this is obviously a long, long time ago.
And it's a factory bike too.
Yeah.
Like they're very different. But yeah, I had one Kawi, broke my wrist on it, and then I moved to a cold climate, first time ever. I'd like basically grew up in Florida, moved to this place that's like fucking Minnesota in the winter kind of thing. Didn't know that you had to warm a bike up the way that you did. Just broken wrist, and then literally the same thing happened. Like my second ride back, broken collarbone. So it was like
Sold it.
No, it was a media bike. I just left it in a dude's shed. I don't even know what ended up happening to it. But
perfect.
Never really was a Kawi guy.
Yeah, it was and look, I don't have anything else to base it off of.
Yeah.
So I didn't ever ride anything else. But Jake went on after that to ride multiple manufacturers.
Yeah.
Kenny's 450 or, at Saquon when it was Saquon, and rode that. I think the MCR Honda, a Kawi that Mitch built. And, he had already said, he has always said that thing was by far the worst out of those. So interesting to hear about that because, yeah, I
imagine if you were on something.
Well,
else.
I don't know. Like, you have to always wonder, like, why would it have been better? I, shoulda, woulda, coulda type thing. I look back and it was fine. I made it work.
Yeah,
but I could make it work. Jake could not make that bike work.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like your style, whether you just don't know whether the cart was before the horse. Like you were on PC, arguably the best.
Yeah,
250
sure.
ever, that era
Yep.
of 250s. Like even BT says it was basically legal cheating.
Yep.
And then you go from that to the 450 and you've kind of got like this lineage of dudes winning. Like James was going insanely fast on it. But yeah, you just always had that like steer with the rear wheel, squatted in the rear. Like that seemed to be the way that bike looked.
It's funny you say that. Yes and no. I mean, when I did, I think US Open a few years ago, I was starting to ride at the Yamaha test track on the 450, and Shane Drew, I think, was there. They were doing some testing, and he's like, "Well, I thought you could only ride a Kawi like steering from the rear." And I said, "To me, it doesn't matter. I would ride that by any of the bikes the same way."
Yeah, okay.
I would. That's what I believe.
And why?
I don't have a lot of time or no time on anything else, but coming from the Kawi, jumping on the Yamaha. He's like, I didn't know you could,
Ride a Yamaha like
I didn't think
that.
you'd ride it like that, or I thought that was only a Kawi thing. I think I'd ride them all the same.
And why was that your style? Is that just how you grew up?
I don't
riding the
know.
thing?
I'm okay with, I enjoy, not enjoy, but like I'm comfortable sliding, I do enjoy every now and then to go to do a little flat track and stuff. Like that stuff's fun. But yeah, no idea.
That's just the way that you can.
Because our super minis weren't fast like they are today. Like our mini bikes were slow, so it's not like you had big power and you're sliding around and you're used to doing that.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed just being here and on the practice tracks before doing World Vets. Guys here just 2-wheel drift, and like Glen Helen especially, you kind of like need to do that.
Yeah,
but. That's the one thing I noticed. Just average dude that rides good here, just
can slide a little bit,
sliding everywhere, and it's very. I think too the tracks are way more open and fast here as well. I think it kind of sets up like in Europe you don't have that.
It's way hard.
In Oz you don't have that. Like the dirt's not. It's almost like the dirt's not set up for it even in other places. Like it's a very unique riding style that Americans have.
You think?
I think so. Like just
it's much different than Europe for sure.
It's to me, it's just crazy intensity.
I mean, maybe I've never looked at like I'm looking at all the the broadcast guys, not going out on the Thursday and looking at
true.
Dissecting why this. Geez, that guy's sliding around the corner too.
yeah. Well, I think even like Loretta's, right? Like this is my first time going to Loretta's, and I had a bit of a like light bulb moment. You hear anyone that comes over to America, they're like, bro, the first few laps of intensity is unmatched anywhere in the world as it is in America.
I agree with that.
And so, you know why, bro? Fucking Loretta's. I could not believe how fucked up the track got in practice day one at Loretta. Oh, you rode that day.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, cut some lines in. Like, you go to Europe, right?
Dude, there's that many bikes, that many classes.
And they're all full send from the second the wheels touch the track. Full send. And I could not believe it. Like, when I went and did some testing for Stark, and Tortelli basically was like, just wait, please. Nobody on the track. And he just cut 3 ruts into every corner.
Really?
Oh, dude, by the time I touched the track, it was primo, like just the nicest ruts and it stayed good all day, even when the dirt went to shit. Here, bro, just no chance. Like,
Loretta's is gnarly.
Full send from the second the wheels touched again. And it's like cultural, that follows through from when you're on a 65 or 50 at Loretta's.
And I think it comes from Supercross, that, all these kids and parents watching, like, dude, look how hard they go out of the gate, and then they go to the practice track or go to Loretta's and let's do what they do on TV, So that's kind of where I think there's so much information accessible now that you're seeing all of that, be able to get all the way down to the very bottom of amateurs.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.